January 8th, 1:56 p.m. District Court. Courtroom. Number 4. Number 4 is lovely wood paneling. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job. No problem. Tamed him? Guy's name may be Furio Tigre. Well, come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness? Please state your name and occupation. Hey! Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there is room for me down there, too. Would you mind? What'd you say to me? Nothing! I didn't say nothing. Honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? What? Alright. Got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Is it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the normal proceedings as you do, yes? That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say? There's no point in struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that holds you in. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch court dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Huh. Enix's right. Who? You're the one who set this up, didn't you? You're gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You know what I'm saying? Gulp. Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. You're under the table. The tiger's alibi. Alright, let's see here. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year, spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. So wanna check my alibi, just ask Violetta. Okay. At last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no noise, just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me some ding that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000. He's gotta borrow the cash from me. That's the one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute, that's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You have a choice. He's better be listening. Said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. And the court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. But come on. but keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Right, the only thing I'm thinking at this point, Tiger's alibi, is if we go into the stuff here, where is the calendar? December 3rd. It's the December. And they're going on about pressing, so I was tied up with business in December last year, spent all of my time in the office. You can't have spent all of your time in the office, because this is literally a piece of evidence here that says meet with the tiger. So, are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. Mainly. Not constantly. That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Press harder. Mr. Tigre, what do you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
Objection!
This is a dead end, Trite, and you know it. No, I know it's not, mate. Remember the rules.
Objection!
Mr. Godot, you know the rules, and so do I. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe he's ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. Had meetings all day with a bunch of cats who wanted to do business with me. I've never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please. Mr. Tigre, the court asked you to add the last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The day he's talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before. I got whales lined up. Well, I want to go back to that, don't I? The day he was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw the kid before. Right, so I feel now it's like we should actually present this.
Objection!
Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's today. That's the day of the murder, right? So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because of the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad. It's actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you. See how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Liars will not be tolerated. You're just calling me a liar. Is that what you're doing? Oh. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black disgustingness. He says magic, but he means disgustingness. See? That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? Never actually met the victim. That's got to be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. The victim? Glenn Elg. I ain't no liar. Never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy in my office, tender lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't even never showed. I ain't never ever been to that Tresbian joint, you see? I see. It all seems perfectly logical. He had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. But it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Did I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. Bill's going straight to you. Right. The victim, Glenn Elg. Ain't no liar, I never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, tender lender. Waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never ever been to that Tresbian joint yous here. Do you think he really didn't meet Glenn Elg? No, he did, but how do we establish that? Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing. So you mean, the whole testimony he just gave was a lie? Of course. So we can't afford to give him the time to think of ways to plug the leaks in it. Got to nail him while I still can. I'm assuming we don't get a penalty if we do stuff now.
Hold it!
And yet, your name was written on the victim's calendar. Get that horse calendar out of my face. I'm the tiger, not a lame horse, you porcupine. Tigers like me eat horses like that for breakfast. No. Witnesses aren't permitted to eat evidence. Not that they ever would. Well, there was a case once where a young lad ate a... Anyway, if you had never met the victim before, how do you explain this note he left? There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. That's very strange. According to the manager of the firm where the victim worked, December 3rd was the date he had to repay his loan. He wasn't due to discuss borrowing money, but repaying what he owed. Oh, yeah. Maybe he's right. Whatever it was going down at the beginning of December. Wait, that destroys your point. You did meet Glenn Elg, then. Hey, right. So might want to cool your jets a sec. I set up a meeting with the guy in my office, tender lender. So your meeting wasn't supposed to be at Tresbian then? Why would I want to go to a dump like that? How do you know it's a dump? If I want to talk with my clients, I got an office decked out for the job. Got the best punching bag you ever saw in there. Not exactly a professional office you've got there, you know? So you're in your office on the day in question. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. He didn't show up. Huh. What do you think, Trite? Let's see. How does a dead man get from a French restaurant to a loan shark's office? He walks. I mean, it doesn't matter, he's dead, you know, he's walking dead. And you yourself didn't go to Tresbian. What are you trying to pin on me here? Why don't you come down to my office? We can chat about this thing my way, yeah? Got the best punching bag he's ever saw in there. No need. I'm good, thanks. Listen up, I ain't got nothing more to say except this. I ain't never ever been to Tresbian joint, yes, here. Never. Not even once. Not even once. I was in my office the day that went down. I didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee. Capiche? It's capiche, but capiche, you know. Do you think he really didn't meet Glen Elg? Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing. Do you mean that whole testimony you just gave was a lie? Of course, so we can't afford to give him time to think of ways to plug the leaks in it. Got near him while I still can. Okay, so it's evidence then. Alright, what we got? What can prove he was there at the murder? Because he did say the place was crap. I'm wondering if it's... I present the food like, you must know that the food was rubbish. Stretch. Could maybe prove that he's been there before. Like, the only problem is, like, we could prove he was there before, that he had been there. And be like, haha, you've been to Tresbian before. Doesn't prove he was there on the day of the murder, though, does it? Oh, hold on. How does he have the virus? Like, that could be a line of questioning based. How did you have the virus in your office? Because there's got to be a way you got Glen Elg's virus, right? You've never met Glen Elg. How did you get the virus? That was in his office. So I ain't no lie, I've never met Glen Elg, but what do we present it on? There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tender Lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never ever been to Tresbian Joint Use here. What could I present that on? Set up a meeting with a guy at my office. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. Ain't no lie, I never met him. That's all I can think is... I mean, that proves he went to Tresbian. But I feel like this is the stronger one. Like, 'cause this proves you met Glen Elg. Right? Because a computer virus made by Glen Elg, how did you have it? It was there on your CD player. You could potentially play it. It was there. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. I mean, it does, but it's clearly gonna penalize me. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Objection denied. Better think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. I did, that makes sense. Whoops, that didn't go so well. Okay, I'm assuming the matches then. That makes sense though, right? Like the fact, like, a computer virus made by Glen Elg. So it's like, you must have known who he is and met him before to have the virus. How else would you have it? But it's gotta be the matches then. Alright then, I ain't never met Glen Elg. There's some main guy with that name though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with a guy at my office, Tender Lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never been to that Tresbian Joint Use here. Like, this to me feels more flimsy. Because, like, matches used for advertising. It's like, maybe you don't get them from the place. Maybe they're handed out around the place. Like, Tender Lender is very near Tresbian. So he could have just picked some up from someone else. They could have been handing them out. He could have passed by and they gave him some, like, you can stretch, like, ideas, but that's specific to Glen Elg. Right? That feels more appropriate than this. But that's assuming this is right.
Objection!
I mean, it went in the top right, so... Mr. Tigray, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? I really do feel that the virus CD is much stronger evidence. Matches? What are you talking about? You found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tresbian before. what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? Along with the CD that contained the virus, Phoenix. He's been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? You know, Broad controlling me. Broad, Order, well, witness. I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Yes, sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay. I was at the joint that day. What? But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elg that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. At Tres Bien, okay. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. No, you gotta have it come on the screen if you want to hold it. Like, be like, hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Oh, for God's sake. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since she's paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Nope. A Tres Bien. Alright, then we've got to be careful. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. That relatively fine based on everything we know so far. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. And it is like... Okay, so you came in after the fact. That could match up. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Okay. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be. So I split. I had the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. Ooh. Well, Nick, what do you think? He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. I need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. But to come right back at him with a contradiction. Well, the only thing I can think of right now... It's like, okay, it's like he entered the joint, as he so put it, and was like straight out of there. It's like if he entered, he can't have seen what was going on, because there's like a panel and a wall right in front. So you got to think like, okay, so you enter, there's no customers there, none. I mean, there's one, but he's dead. Because the creepy old man, he's gone. He's gone to make a phone call. He's not back yet. Like, the police are on their way. Would be pretty much instant in this case, so it's like, yeah. He's not back yet. He's a 5-minute walk away. So it's like, maybe he's 3 minutes away or something like that, because he'd be making his way back, because, you know, the police would want his testimony and stuff like that, so he'd be heading back. Still, the victim is dead, slumped over. Where's Mr. Armstrong? Probably in the kitchen. And if he wasn't, he'd be somewhere and he'd be speaking to Tigray, and Tigray would point out that he spoke to Armstrong. That would actually have been a good way of putting it if I was him, being like, well, I spoke to the guy in question. He said, oh no, there's too much trouble here. You want to come back later? Trust me. Or, you know, that sort of thing. And then we got, Maggie, and she'll be in the kitchen. We established... Did we establish that she was dragged in there? We established... Wait. We already established that he was moved, didn't we? Yeah. So wait. We already established he was moved. So Glenn Elg was moved into the kitchen. We know this because of the eardrops, right? That's something we established already. So when he came in, he wouldn't be there. Right? Because it was like we found the bottle was in the kitchen. Oh, we gave it back to Gumshoe, didn't we? Ah! I need that bottle! Gumshoe! I need the bottle! Damn it! The bottle proves it! Bloody hell! It proves he was there! Oh, okay. Gotta come right back in with a contradiction. Be careful what you press him on, though. Or you'll get penalised, okay? Gumshoe! I need the evidence back. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw an ugly scene. I mean, there, like, you opened the door to the joint. It's gotta be you can't have. Even though I can't present the fact, like, the body was in the kitchen.
Objection!
You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, your field of vision would have been covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Why, that's true. Also, the body was in the kitchen. Again, we established this fact, but we don't have the small bottle. It's like, it's... If I had... Gumshoe, give me the bottle! Now, look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Tresbienne, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. Again! Phoenix, the bottle! At least bring it up! At least bring it up, right? The bottle proves the body was in the kitchen. That significantly destroys his entire thing. Damn it! But you did see the victim that day because you met with him.
Objection!
Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. All I'm thinking right now is like, it's gonna be a case of like, Gumshoe's gonna come in at some point with the bottle, isn't he? Or we're gonna have a recess and get the bottle back. And the fingerprints on it are gonna be Tigre's. That's gonna be what happens. It's like, that proves he helped move him into the kitchen. That means he was there, met with him, was there at the time of the murder, all that type of stuff. It will prove so much. But I need it right now. I need it right now. It's the one thing I really want. The victim was alone at his table.
Objection!
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Is it a charade? That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elg, and they impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Well, the guy keeps impersonating other people. Yeah.
Take that!
Obviously. The killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Now that's cute. You think you could pin this on the tiger? Maybe you just don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts? You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright? Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. He's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, don't leave me to handle this alone. Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Kudo, let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no. The serving girl brought him a Javicino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? It doesn't matter. Fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Kudo. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Huh. Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Beard, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch the elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Well, is it the only one person it could be, really? Like, there.
Take that!
Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlender. She's making a big mistake. You know who Violeta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, had stated the following. Well, when I took that coffee over to the victim's table, it's true that there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had kind of a cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seemed to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in the left ear when the eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, thank you, Phoenix. Once for real, and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? It's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Okay. Something to think about? It's got it all wrapped up nice, alright? You just missed out one real important thing. That can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you see? What? You really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigray? Huh. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you want to explain yourself to the court? Yeah, because what the hell are you on about? I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tresbian between yourself and the victim?